Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa. Where did that one come from? Barcelona out of the race. Talking about that on tonight's show as well. Can Rashford really afford to turn down Unai Emery's offer? Personal request from the Villa manager in bringing Marcus Rashford into Aston Villa. All the details from The Athletic and everybody else on that situation as well. Matthis Tel, I think we're loving this guy already, and he's never even kicked a ball or got anywhere near to signing for Manchester United. But he's sent Spurs packing. Apparently Daniel Levy was over in Munich to finish the deal, but he's been sent home with his tail between his legs. Matthis Tel saying no to Tottenham Hotspur, and Florian Plettenberg coming out with what he would prefer. We're going into details on that as well. Heaven has signed and sealed. Medical done. It is doggy tomorrow, obviously, out of them two players that have been signed. We're talking everything that is going on. We touched on Quenda earlier on as well. More information on that. This pretty much looks like it's a done deal. This looks like Quenda's done. Like, we're going to go into more information on that as well, because we were talking about it earlier on about what The Athletic was saying and the price and how good that was, but we have got a little bit more information out on the show this evening about the actual deal. So I'll keep you updated with that and everything else that's actually going on right now. Just to kickstart everything off, no update whatsoever on Alejandro Garnacho. So we're going into the weekend. I don't think United are going to want him to do business. Nobody has come anywhere near. Manchester United, their stance on it quickly before we move on is that unless you have actually hit or got near Manchester United's valuation, they're not even negotiating. So get near it or walk away. Clearly shows that both Napoli and Chelsea, if they have made bids, the reason we don't know about them is because United didn't even entertain them because they're so low. That's the only thing we can look at in that. We'll keep an eye on it, obviously, throughout the weekend, but as it stands, no on Garnacho. He's still a United player. Moving on, Marcus Rashford. And the news came out earlier on this evening, or late afternoon you could say, saying that Barcelona now finds or looking at Marcus Rashford and trying to get this deal done. It's pretty much impossible. They cannot move enough players around or make everything move in the right place to facilitate a move for Marcus Rashford. It does look like he's waited around all window, sat on his arse for nothing, waiting for Barcelona, and they pulled the plug 3 days before the window shuts on him. That's what you get in this world, I'm afraid, Marcus. You should have just signed for AC Milan or Borussia Dortmund or someone that was clearly there offering you a good package to play football. Because let's not forget, mate, like, it is the football that you're bothered about, isn't it? That's what you told us. So why didn't you sign for them clubs? Interesting. Yeah, but it now looks like Barcelona well and truly out of the race, and there is no chance that Marcus Rashford will get his so-called dream move to Barcelona. Not happening, but we are getting information now, and it's come out from The Athletic. Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell and Adam Crafton have all been reporting, journalists for The Athletic, on this, that Aston Villa now, after Barcelona drop out, are now seen as favourites. A personal request from Unai Emery to go and get Marcus Rashford as one of the attacking options. This is probably around covering John Duran's move to the Saudi Pro League. Ollie Watkins, we've seen nothing in terms of movement from Arsenal since that initial bid. So obviously this is to cover Duran and what's happened there. Does Rashford start above Watkins? No, he doesn't. So he's coming into a team really there. And again, like, this is where you have to question where Marcus Rashford is actually at right now. He was going to Barcelona to sit on the bench. It's as simple as that. He wasn't a starter in that football club. I think even going to Aston Villa, and he's lucky to be getting an offer to go there to play under Unai Emery. I don't know how he's going to fit into Unai Emery's side or train for Unai Emery, because clearly he hasn't got the will to train. He thinks he should just be walking into every team. And like I've said this before, the grass on the other side for Marcus Rashford definitely isn't going to be greener. He's had everything his own way at Manchester United. I think he's in for a rude awakening wherever he goes. But Unai Emery has requested to the Villa board to go in and communicate, find out what the conditions are, and that is indeed what has happened. Villa have contacted Manchester United for the conditions to Marcus Rashford's loan and are actively now looking into it as a replacement for John Duran for the now until the end of the season. I think it works for Villa. They have got the money with Duran leaving, obviously, and if they can get Marcus Rashford in as a make weight, then good for them. But this is all going to come down to Marcus Rashford not budging on his wages. It's all going to come down to him not wanting to move because, like we said earlier on, he does not want to drop his wages to play football. If he's going to leave United, he wants still getting full money. So we'll see what Villa's offer is. Can they afford him? If United are subsidising a bit, maybe. But there's been no movement from Manchester United on the Rashford side of doing anything with his wages or covering any part of it. I think we're stuck at loggerheads with that. And I do think, and I do believe now, that United really are in a position where, look, again, like we've said before, it's either subsidise a bit and get him out, or he just sits there stinking the place out. Unai Emery, what he sees in Marcus, I just said it there then, I don't know. Clearly, he wants to use him as that late substitute, bit of pace. He has done it with Duran plenty of times. He feels like he's got that explosive player that can just do something for him when needed, coming off the bench and changing games. I don't know what he sees in him. I don't know where he thinks he's going to fit in, but he's got his own ideas. Let him go along with it. So if Marcus Rashford does speak to Unai Emery, or he gets a chance to talk to him, I think he will convince him of the project. I think Unai Emery is a great manager. I think he's done a brilliant job in the Premier League. He did well with Arsenal and was unfairly treated there. Then obviously he did what he did with Villarreal as well. He did United over there. This is a proven winner in Unai Emery. And if Marcus Rashford turns this down, then everybody is going to be looking at him and going, where honestly, you can listen to what Roy Keane said, what Gary Neville said, Teddy Sheringham, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes. Everyone who's anyone, any legend of this football club has had their say on Marcus Rashford. And the ones that are not employed by Manchester United have been brutally honest. And they've told him what's what. So really, everybody is going to look at him and go, honestly, where are you at, son? What are you hoping to gain from not taking on the opportunity to go to Aston Villa? Some might say that he's going to a rival and that's why it might not happen. Not really. We're not going to catch Aston Villa this season, not with where we're at in the league, I don't think, unless they have a massive drop-off. I know they're not a million miles away in Champions League places, but still plenty of places ahead of Manchester United. So when you look at it again, I think it is a big jump for Rashford. I think it's a brilliant move for Marcus Rashford if he can make it happen. He's still in the Premier League. He's still playing at a high level. He can go and play in the Champions League knockout phases at Aston Villa. That's what they're dealing with now. The money that they get from the Champions League, they can more than afford Marcus Rashford for 6 months. That's how they're going to be looking at it. They're going to be saying, if there's any players in there at Aston Villa and the position that they're in right now and are not happy that you've got someone coming in like Rashford who's on mega money and they're not, they'll just look at it and say, look, this is just a signing fee, basically. Us paying Marcus Rashford's wages is a player being brought in because we've sold John Duran. They're not going to lose too much money in just financing Marcus Rashford's wages for 6 months with the money that they've got for Duran. The books are open for Villa. They've got options right now. So I don't think wages are going to be a problem for him. It depends if Villa are willing to pay one individual player on loan that amount of money. They can afford it, like I just said, but I think it's the situation with the squad maybe. But really, you could say, look, he's not going to be here at the end of the season, and we're just doing it because there isn't anyone else available, and we couldn't turn down the deal for John Duran. So I think definitely affordable for Villa. Will he fit in as a bench player? Yes. Maybe the starter here and there. But where else is he going to go now? He's turned down the places where he would get first-team football. This is where I don't get it. This is where I don't get his thinking or what his reps are actually talking about. Stay at United. Yeah, you're on your wage, but you don't play football and you don't get in the England squad. Go to Dortmund. Go to AC Milan. Go to Turkey. Go to Galatasaray. Wherever. Get game time every single week and compete and try and get back in the England side. Right now, all he's doing is being stubborn, and he looks like he's lying to us. Because he said he wants to get into the England side. If he is not facilitating a move himself to get into that England side, then it is clearly all about money. So, yeah, if it's all about money, fair enough. United gave you that contract. Why would you move? But don't come out in stupid interviews saying that you're not going to kick up a stink leaving United and it's about the football and I want to play in the World Cup. I want to challenge to get back in the England squad. Don't talk shit to the United fan base. We see right through you right now. So just find a club. Go to Villa. Sorry, itch. Go to a club that wants you, that wants to take you first of all. And now at this stage of the window, don't argue the point about game time. Don't argue the club and the stature of the club and where you're going. You right now need to be playing football. You're not going to get it at United. Clearly not. You've missed all of your opportunities because you wanted the glory move to Barcelona. The ball is in your court, Marcus. Simple as. Make a decision. Move on with your career. Simple as that. When you've got Wayne Rooney telling you to leave the football club, there is a clear sign that something is not right. The fact that you've not played for 13 games straight is another sign that something ain't right. Your form and attitude on the pitch before all of this started was a sign that this club is just not right for you. Move. Don't be stubborn about it. That's all we ask. Just go, and it's best for everybody. You, the manager, the club, the fans, because we don't want to support a player that's not wanting to put the effort in. We don't want to be forced into that situation where you walk out on the pitch and we're supposed to forget about everything and what you've said about the club and what you've acted like in front of a manager that everybody's getting behind except you. That, honestly, is... that's the scenario. Deal with it right now. I'll be so happy to not be talking about this guy when this window is finished and shut. I cannot wait to be on to something else. 1,400 people in the room already, 162 likes. Keep them likes coming in, everybody. We're talking Marcus Rashford, of course. You can see it top of the pile in terms of topics today. Let's get into some questions on this quickly before we move on to other news as well. First of all, Ravel Burns, thank you for the super chat. Is Ahmad right wing back dead if we bring in Quenda? Hope not. Probably yes, because we need 10s and Ahmad can work as a 10. Better than he can a right wing back, I think. So I think he will be pushed further forward into a natural position, mate. I really do. Rashford will cost us Tel, and it'll be a huge shame. Get him to United on loan and let the team convince him to stay after. Rashford has no shame. Just go away, bro. Pap says, if it's very strange to see a player sabotage his own playing career, but then Lingard did it after his West Ham loan. Very strange mentality. Influence friends, you know what I mean. He thinks he will outlast Amorim and come back into the first team. I think he actually, do you know what? This is the way his life has gone at Manchester United. So I would not put that past his mindset and where he's actually at. I do believe that he's actually thinking he will see another manager come in and that one might like him. Simple as. Villa wasn't deep before the Duran transfer. Rashford would definitely play if he does things the way he should. That's the thing, Daniel, isn't it? It's like, what makes Unai Emery think that he is going to play for him? Is he just going to all of a sudden turn on the training and start working really hard because it's a manager that hasn't called him out? If that is the case, then we can all stand back here at United and laugh down at them at Birmingham for what Marcus Rashford has done. We can laugh at him for doing what he's done there if he does, in fact, start turning it on for Villa, training hard and doing what's necessary. Why couldn't he have done that for Ruben Amorim? That will be the question. And I think he's scared of how he reacts right now. I think he's scared of what his next move is, because everyone's going to be looking at him. If he starts working really hard, then everyone's going to ask the question. He's dug himself such a deep hole. It's virtually impossible for him to climb out of it right now. He really just needs to accept that he was wrong, and he will do that when he moves by training hard and getting into someone else's side, because everyone will see through what he was doing at United at that point then, and that's where we're at. The fans at Villarreal went good evening to him, and he middle fingered them, laughing when Emery was manager there. Good evening. He was a thorn in Man United's side, wasn't he? It really was, but I just don't. I can't get Emery and Rashford. I mean, you have to work hard for Emery. He is a good manager. He will suss him out even more, I think. I'd be amazed if he gets consistent game time under Emery. That's how the situation is. I think that's how it's going to play out. I don't care. Just go. We want him out of the football club. And like someone just said in the comments then, if this is now what is going to stop Tel from coming into Manchester United, then this is where United need to be. We need to be all over the situation with Tel. And on that situation, let's just get into the news, because quite amusingly, today we were told that Daniel Levy has flown over and just landed in Munich to finalise the deal with Bayern Munich for Matthis Tel. And then we find out that Matthis Tel has in fact told Spurs where to go. Which is, Daniel, back on your plane, son. I ain't going to Spurs. 50 million quid on the table. And he has told Bayern Munich he's not going to Spurs. We're now hearing from Florian Plettenberg. This is after United made contact with Bayern Munich. So again, putting all the pieces together on this one here. So United contact Tel. They then go to Bayern Munich. We then hear from Plettenberg, Sky Germany correspondent over there who covers all of Bayern Munich's news, that Matthis Tel now prefers a loan move. I wonder. Chelsea were trying to sign him permanently. Villa are obviously in now and are in need of a player. So I think Villa are a danger. But if we can maybe move Rashford there, that would definitely help us get Tel. I think Villa have got a big say on our last few days of the transfer window. I think they have got a massive say on it. So they could be taking Rashford, but they could also be in for Matthis Tel. So really, it's down to United to get moving on this deal and convince Bayern Munich. And I think, like I said, we've already convinced Tel, but make this happen quickly and show willing. Otherwise, we are going to lose him. Simple as that. But that's the situation with Tel at the moment. It's looking good for United. I said earlier on that United had contacted his agents, they'd spoken to him, and then we found out today earlier on that United have officially contacted Bayern Munich with a loan proposal for Matthis Tel. And I said before, like, Matthis Tel is the biggest part of this. He is the one driving this move away. If he is happy, then United have gone to Bayern Munich because of that. If he wasn't, United knew that they weren't going to get him and he wasn't happy with the conditions of the loan move and what he would be getting at United, then United wouldn't have approached Bayern Munich. And then, like I just said, then with now the news coming out from Plettenberg that Matthis Tel prefers a loan move, then you would look at all of that moving into place because of what United have done. Nobody else. Nobody else is being talked about in this move for Tel more than Manchester United at the moment. Why has he not gone to Spurs, who are willing to put that much into him? I know, because they were desperate, and he's figured them out. United, he knows, have been interested in him for well over a year, and they've come back in because of the situation and finding out that he's available and come back to the table. And that works for some players. That does actually play on players' minds, their interest from clubs and how closely they've monitored him. And always keeping in touch with their agents and letting them know exactly what the situation is. They will be told by their agents that this is how Manchester United are working. They're moving towards this. If this comes about, they will always be interested. Bang. Opportunity. Knocking on the door. United are in straight away. Tel is a chance. And I went 60-40 before because of Spurs' bid. I'm now going into 50-50. Because Vill have come in and I'm worried about Villa. But it was 60-40 not happening for me. I was describing this before and I misread someone's comment. I said, I didn't say it was not happening. What I was saying was 60-40 not happening. But I think there's a chance that 40 was a quite good 40. Now with Spurs out the way, it's a 50-50. Because I think Bayern Munich will drive a hard bargain. And United will have to, I think, like I said before, really go into detail on this and offer something good to Quenda and Bayern Munich, i.e. a good obligation, an option that's got to be hit with a certain stipulation. If he hits a certain mark, we will pay a certain amount of money. Let's not forget, 50 million is the tag. For instance, if he did well after coming to Manchester United from now until the end of the season, and United won the Europa League, I think 50 million is quite cheap. And I think something like that will be put into the contract. If United win anything, you pay this much. If United finish in this certain position, you pay this much. If he only plays a certain amount of games, then you'll pay this much. Still take it. There'll be lots of different things negotiated in, but United in touch with Bayern Munich is a really good sign. The fact that Quenda's told Spurs where to go is an even better sign. And we should all get a little bit excited that we are now getting close to this, because he is a cracking player, very quick, very skillful, and definitely will enhance Manchester United's attack. And like I said before, there is no need to sell Garnacho to bring Matthis Tel in. So that thought process has to be removed. That's not the case, just so everybody's aware of that. But there is a case that Rashford might be blocking this move out. And that's why we're talking Rashford and Tel in this opening section. Villa, like I just said then, are big in this United's last few days of the window. I don't want them to take Tel. I really don't. But it just looks like the perfect player for them right now with them missing a forward. I'll be gutted if they do. But I just hope that the lure of Manchester United and playing under Ruben Amorim is enough for him. But Villa have got Champions League football to offer. Just take Marcus Rashford, Villa, and be happy with him, and we'll take Tel. No problems. You never know, you might get the best out of Marcus Rashford. Please do, take him. We need you to. We do. Let's get into the comments section on this. Please keep liking the video. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel as well. Well over 1,500 in the room. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let's get them likes up past 400 if we can, please. And let's also get them subscribers up as well. We're getting closer to that 73k mark. We wanted to get there just before the first month ended. So we wanted to get there in January. It does look like we're just going to miss out. But thank you again for the amazing effort, everybody, in trying to get us up there to that mark. Fitz Nutrition with a super chat says, Paul Scholes talking about Pogba that Paul needed someone like Roy Keane around him 24/7, and Harry Maguire is one to learn from to show up. Is one learn from to show up. I mean, I don't think Paul Pogba respected Harry Maguire when he was here. Remember the old Harry Maguire backflip boot in the side of his head? Yeah, that scenario again. I don't know. Look, I don't think it has anything to do with it. Pogba will not be playing at Man United. MA says we should be looking at free transfers or spending no more than 20 million per player. Why? We do need to spend money on players and good players, and they don't come cheap, mate. I'm sorry, 20 million is unrealistic. It really is. I feel we are overpaying for players. No, we're not. I don't think we are at all in what we've bought so far. I think they've been good prices, personally. Would you play behind the striker? Would he play behind the striker or as a striker? He's been used on the wing most of his career. Yeah, I think he'll play one of the 10 roles and sometimes in as a striker. I think they could swap it around and change it up. But I think very intelligent player and can offer Manchester United a lot in different positions in that forward three. So I think versatility is another big thing with Tel as well. So I think that is why United are actually looking at him. And again, for reasons that they know because they've scouted him. Spirits of Lakota says, Rashford needs to think long and hard about how history will treat his legacy at Manchester United. Will he when he's got all that money? That's the thing. How to discipline a child. That is a weird YouTube name. Rashford should be made to dry rot on the bench. PC Master Race says, the issue is not whether Milan, Barca, Dortmund or Villa wants a baby monster. The issue is he himself don't want to move at all. He must want to move somewhere because he isn't going to get time at United. And if he is true to his word and wants to play for England, he has to move on, surely. Matthis Tel, hard as food, he gets the Reds excited. Stick your Tottenham up your arse because we are Man United. That's Graham there getting into his singer-song there. Graham is a Tel fan. I'll just let you know right now. Me and Graham are not going to fall out on Matthis Tel because we both know the history. Me and Graham like to have our debates here and there, but on this one, I think we are aligned. Loan with option, I think, is the best bit of business Manchester United could do this January transfer window for this type of talent. Honestly, I am really excited. If United get this done and we do manage to get rid of Marcus Rashford, just to have that raw, unproven talent that we know is there and we could fulfill it under Amorim, and the way that the club is moving with the younger players and developing a team together, I love all of that. That just really appeals to me as a United fan. And it's something that we haven't seen. We just haven't seen anything like that organisation-wise at United for ages now. Could we do an option to buy Tel if he comes and starts to cook under Amorim? Yep, we can. The obligation and the option really come into Manchester United's negotiating. I said it before. I think if United, I think it will be based on United's finishing positions in the season, how much we've won. Things like that will trigger, I feel, what United will pay as an obligation or an option, whatever it may be. There might be, if he plays a certain amount of games from now until the end of the season, that triggers it. There might be a certain amount of goals. There might be Manchester United finishing in the top 6. There might be United winning the Europa League or the FA Cup, because the FA Cup gets us Europa League, the Europa League gets us the Champions League. All of that falling in will work with the actual package I think United put out. But the minimum, obviously, is United have to be in European football, period. They do. So the Europa League is a minimum, and that realistically is the FA Cup, because I don't think we can get top 6. I say top 6 simply because I think with the coalition this year, United will get another spot in the Champions League, which is really annoying because that might actually be City. But, well, let's see. English clubs are doing well in Europe. Politely disagree, Adam. Other clubs that seem to get top players for free. Madrid don't spend much or young talent at Brighton. No, mate. Completely adrift there, MA. Sorry, pal. Madrid do what they do. They tap players up years in advance. That's what they do. They tried to do it with Lenny Yoro as well. And no, other clubs don't get players at cheap prices. They don't. Brighton do it because they're a small club and they find these players and develop them and then sell them on. But no, I think United, for the size of Manchester United, have done well in the transfer window. But no, I get what you're saying, mate. Like, it's always going to look like it's inflated for Manchester United, but that's just United tax. But I don't think we've overpaid for any player that we've brought in. None at all. Spurs sniffing around Angel Gomez. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised there isn't more sniffing around Angel Gomez. Would you be okay with Rashford joining another Premier League team? That's the poll that we've got running right now. Talk to me, everybody. Would you be okay with Rashford joining another Prem team? I'm going to give you my answer right now. Just get him out. Don't care where he goes. He can go to City. I don't care. I really don't care. That's how much I want him out of this football club. I'm still laughing on that Levy Spurs thing. Like our very own Dumb and Dumber Arnold Murto madness. Honestly, like, Spursy on the pitch. Spursy off the pitch. It just won't leave them, will it? It won't leave them. Hopefully you got a nice... I was going to say you got a nice sausage in Munich then, but I know that the chat would just take that away and go in a different direction. Too late, said it. Let's see what people come up with. I don't think they really pulled the plug. It was his PR team and his deluded P-brain with the influence of his wannabe agent brother putting these fake stories out. He's a clown and nobody wants him. Ooh, that is a harsh one there, but I can see where you're doing it. Let's see. Ivan is saying, mate, totally agree. I'm getting sick of this. You can't sign 3 unproven forwards in a row who can't score. Insane. Look, unproven forwards. The problem we've got with Rasmus Højlund is not Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund was brought in at the time when he should have been 3rd or 4th choice striker and made to be Man United's number 9. Rasmus Højlund is fine, but he's a 2nd and 3rd rate striker, not a number 1, and that's why he's struggling. Simple as. Joshua Zirkzee is not a striker. He's not a striker. So it's not unproven, and people saying this is the 3rd unproven striker, he's not a striker either. Like, Højlund's not a number 1, Zirkzee's not a striker, Tel is not a striker. He's a forward. He plays out wide, he drifts inside, he plays at 10, he's sometimes going to 9, but he's a very clever operator. So, yeah, it's not that Manchester United are overpaying for players. Not anymore, anyway. Rasmus is a prime example of overpaying. Mason Mount, Andre Onana, Anthony, Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez. We should have paid less for him because could have got him a lot cheaper. That is all overpaying for players. Manchester United past that. You look at Dorgu, I think that's a fair deal. I do. You look at Manchester United picking up Diego Leon. These are the players that you were talking about that like Brighton would pick up for peanuts. And United are starting to get these players now, but nobody wants to talk about them. Nobody wants to talk about the cheaper players. I do. I talk about all of them. I think these are good signings. I don't think United are overpaying for anyone right now. I think these are good deals. And I said it before, I'm very, very confident in the structure that's in place at Manchester United and what we're actually doing right now. And in that structure, we have to say, like when we talked earlier on about the Quenda deal, for instance. So if you weren't around earlier on today around lunchtime, Manchester United apparently have already signed and sealed a deal for Giovanni Quenda, the right wing back, 17-year-old right wing back from Sporting, who used to play under Ruben Amorim. Now the Muppeteers have come out earlier on. Ornstein was the one who came out and said United are looking at a deal for 33.4 million from the Athletic. So we take that and we ride with it. But apparently, Manchester United, we know this, but United's relationship with Sporting is exceptional. United's relationship with his agent George Mendes is really good. And this is as good a deal as you're going to get. It's done. That's what the Muppeteers were saying earlier on as well. A few other people have said it. It's the only reason that Ornstein has come out with an exact price now, I'm telling you, is so he can retweet it again in the summer saying that they were the ones that actually brought this up and said this was happening. I do actually think that deal is done. And that's mega movement for Manchester United. That is very, very good business. 33 million for that kid with all that potential. You could argue 33 million for a 17-year-old is still a lot. He'll be 18, by the way, in April. So when we get him, he'll be 18. But that is a Champions League proven top-flight player coming to United who has worked under Ruben Amorim and been part of that massive success story at Sporting. The same player that absolutely destroyed Pep Guardiola's defence. I think it's really good business for Manchester United. And then you start looking at the players that have come in and how old they are. You start to get a little bit excited then. Put a few little bits in there on good players that we will have to pay a bit more for. And then you're talking a real solid Manchester United side. Let's get some more comments in. Want to be as interactive as possible, so keep on with the comment section, everybody. If you haven't subscribed and you can't get into the comments, so please do. If you're trying to, that's how you get into the live section. Just hit the subscribe button and then you are in. Daniel says, him joining another EPL isn't ideal, but keeping him around at the club isn't, is the least ideal. It's true. Him putting himself in the shop window is the best for both sides. Him playing well might get him a move he prefers. Very good point, Daniel. Best for both. Forget about the rivalry side of things and that crap. We have got no rivals right now, Manchester United, when it comes to supporting Ruben Amorim and getting rid of players. It just has to happen. It's as simple as that. Alvarez says, people, United do not need any marquee signings. We need a proper rebuild with players that the manager can coach and trust. And that is what we are recruiting right now. And that's why we're talking about Quenda. That's why we're talking about Leon, Heaven, Dorgu, all of these players. Tel, Tel might just be a loan or a short-term one in the end, but still, we're looking at a developing team and squad that are going to work together. This is what Manchester United are trying to develop right now. This is their aim. This is the profile of play. We know they've all been young. There's not been many over the age of 26, I don't think. I think Mazraoui is the eldest signing we've made. I think he's just turning 27, I think. So he's still got plenty of time. But we've got plenty of players coming through in them positions as well. And lots of cover at centre-back now with younger players coming in. And adding to that, like we said, then we've seen Godwill Kakonki come in to the matchday squad this season. We've now gone and bought Aiden Heaven. He's coming to the squad this season as well. So I think we've got plenty of cover going into the future in that department. And anyone else coming in is going to be part of that. I think everybody else is going to be of that certain profile of player that United can develop themselves. I don't think ready-made players are going to be what United predominantly go out for. We do need the actual quality that is ready at the right age, i.e. the 25, 26-year-old players. They're your Edisons, they're your Gyökereses. They're probably another number 10. And it's someone else of quality in that 10 role. Maybe a Jonathan David or something like that. But obviously you can get David for free, so that's still a no-brainer for me. I just look at it and go, he's building a squad that does need a bit of leadership. It does need some kind of leaders in there and older players and experienced players. But I think that's where United will spend the serious money on them players. The ones that have been there and done it. and played at the top level, I think that's where United will be making their mark in the transfer window. Everything else, I think, is part of the long-term plan for the football club. So I do believe that we're moving in the right direction. And Quenda is proof of that, I think. Quenda definitely shows the direction the club is going in. I think all of the other signings this month do as well. We just need to help Ruben Amorim by moving out the players. I just want to check this poll as well. 86% of you are saying you would not be bothered if Marcus Rashford joined another Premier League club. It's good to know, because I'm in the same boat. Just get him out. Veronica says Rashford has never done anything for United before, so what makes us think he is going to do anything now? Just get out of our club. I don't think anyone expects him to do anything, Veronica, to be honest. I think we've given up on him. We need to focus on the CM and the 10 and striker. We need ball-playing players that know how to look after the ball. No Hollywood BS. Look, we need risk takers. I know that United Spotlight there is alluding to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno still does his bits here and there. Right now, an all-round 8 is what we need, I think, more than anything in that midfield. Just to go over the reports and backing you up on what The Athletic have said on Marcus Rashford as well, so you've got a bit of context to what I'm talking about. This was their tweet, Laurie Whitwell, earlier on. Marcus Rashford's preference has been to join Barcelona or stay at Manchester United. I think he's just saying that for the PR side of things. So he would likely need convincing to join Aston Villa. Affording the money to cover the required portion of Rashford's wages is further complicating factor, but Unai Emery has asked personally to the board of Aston Villa to find out the conditions of Marcus Rashford's deal. I said it before, they can afford his wages for 6 months easily, especially if United are putting a portion towards it as well. Doubt we get Quenda and Gyökeres on good deals. I don't. I think we'll get him on great deals if we get him. 58 million for Gyökeres? I think that works. And that's apparently the buyout from his contract after 2 years for certain clubs, and we're all over that. Quenda already looks like we're on a £33 million deal, according to Ornstein. I think that's a good deal as well. If you can get both of them two for under 100 million, quid's in. Well done, United. And then we can go and get Edison. We spend 150 million. You've got your striker, top quality. You've got your number 8, even better quality. And then you've got your right wing back as well, brilliant quality. And all work in this system. And then you still probably got a little money left over because you're going to sell Marcus Rashford, hopefully. And we can go and get maybe a Jonathan David in at a 10 with that. Honestly, you've got 150 million there. I've just bought in 4 players in key positions that we need that are better than what we've got. It's not difficult, is it? Championship Manager or FIFA. You got Raw's another super chat. Thank you, mates. Absolute legend, buddy. Thanks a lot. What a well thought out addition Heaven was. Linda F and Evans are leaving, and it's likely 2025 will be Slabhead's last year with us. Good points there made by You Got Raws with that super chat. I totally agree with that, mate, because looking at the situation, looking at how long it's going to take. So Slabhead leaves, Harry Maguire, next year. Heaven is 19. Euro is 20. We're moving the next generation in. Evans is gone. Lindelof is gone. The old guard is gone. We've got no defenders in our squad. I'm guessing if Luke Shaw goes, over the age of 30. The oldest defender, I think, will be Mazraoui, and I think he will be 28. Something like that. That's not bad, is it? That is a future right there in Manchester United's defence. And you've got a young Quenda, and you've got a young Dorgu as wing-backs as well. And we'll add to that as well in time. But you have got 10 years there. You've got a good decade's worth of defenders coming through and developing. You add in the likes of Sekou Kone when he develops and comes through and can be a rotational player. You add in Chidowobi Martin as another striker behind the likes of Gyökeres coming in as well. And you've got a great core and a brilliant little structure there at Manchester United. And it all looks a little bit rosy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get carried away with myself and say that this is. I do like to talk myself into a really good mood with United and try and figure out a positive out of all of the carnage. But I cannot help but think that what we're doing right now is definitely different and is beneficial for the future of this football club. And that's where I'm at with it. Mr. Dacia Sandero says, I don't believe any Premier League side will be that interested in signing Marcus Rashford. His attitude, baggage and ego are a big turn-off. It's a reality check for him for sure. Look, I think for 6 months, I think Villa, I don't think that's too much of a risk for them. I don't. Yeah, they'll be paying big wages. I think Emery will feel like he can get something out of him. And then hopefully that just gives him that little bit so he can get the move and then maybe challenge to get in Tuchel's side. And we'll see from there, won't we? But still, I don't think they'll be queuing up, put it that way. Not to spend money on him. John Wood says, get Rashford out at all costs. He's a cancer to this club. We desperately need to sign a striker. Why on earth are we going for Osimhen? It's a no-brainer. Why on earth are we not going for Osimhen? Because he's tied into a loan and he doesn't want to leave his loan. That's why we can't get him. Jonathan David fits the profile we need. I'd have thought to get him in now to get ahead of the competition in the summer. I get that, Eric. I do. I think I've said that myself before. But obviously United have spent up with Dorgu. That's why we're looking at loans. I would be looking at Jonathan David and saying, look, come to United. Get him on a free in the summer. And I said it there, like, if you get Gyökeres, Jonathan David, Quenda, and Edison, I know it's a big if still, and other clubs are after these players, but if United do finish well this season, we get into the Champions League through winning the Europa League, which is doable, then you could get all 4 of them for less than 150 million. That's brilliant recruitment. Absolutely brilliant. And you've got the younger lads that are all coming through already. You've got Leon to add to that. You've got Tevin coming through. You've got Obi Martin. You've got Coney. It's just epic. And maybe there is an obligation in for Tel because he's smashed it and he's looking great. It's a great world when you start thinking out in cuckoo land, isn't it? But that is actually a real possibility for United. It is, isn't it? When you look at it all, it's not a million miles away. It's doable. And that's all we need to know. As long as it's doable, then we can get it and we can get there. Let's see. We have over 400 likes, by the way. Thank you so much. Well over 1,600 in the room. We are smashing the content again today, everybody. Weekend is back already. Wow. Where did that go from? Where did that week go? I'm so happy that the transfer window is nearly done now. Honestly. Sorry, boxing. I did change the time. It has changed a couple of times on Fridays. There may be a permanent change for Fridays going forward. I'll keep you posted on it. I did say on the earlier shows today, and anyone who has missed out, I'm sorry. I will make sure that you are notified on the post as well on the channel. So again, if you are subscribed, make sure you've got your notifications on. So when I do put a post out as well, you will be notified of any changes to scheduling. Back to normal tomorrow. Obviously on a Saturday, we're back at 8 o'clock in the morning with your update show on everything that's happened overnight. I can guess that the morning shows now all the way through to Monday are going to be jam-packed because they're not normal nights. Everything has to happen very quickly now for any moves to go through. So expect a lot of action in the transfer market at odd times because needs must for a lot of clubs now. So that, I think, is what we need to keep an eye on. And obviously, I will have you covered whenever anything breaks throughout the day. Just to quickly go over everything again, Marcus Rashford is an option for Aston Villa. Unai Emery has requested the Aston Villa board communicate with Manchester United, find out the conditions to a loan. They are willing to take Rashford on loan. Matthis Tel has told Daniel Levy to get back on his plane. He is not signing for Spurs. All he wants is Manchester United. Well, he doesn't. He's not said that. And don't quote me on it because it's not true. But he's now looking, according to Florian Plettenberg, more preferably at a loan move rather than a permanent move. Spurs have got 50 million on the table. It's just been sent back to North London. Sorry, Daniel. Nobody is really interested in Spurs. It's funny, isn't it? It really is. I hope that story is true when he did fly out. I can't even remember who brought it up before, but yeah, it was. It just gave me that hope that Tel is actually going to come to Manchester United now. I'm hoping we can do a deal with Bayern Munich and get that kid in because I think that will be a good signing for United. I really do. Everybody, that pretty much is our show all finished. I just want to say again, massive thank you, 1600 in the room. If you could all just give the video a like, we could get to that 500 live like mark just before we finish the show, which would be mega. Thank you, everybody. A Friday night blockbuster. A little bit earlier than usual, but again, thank you, everybody, for coming in. It was absolutely brilliant. Again, your comments have been bang on the money. I love you all. Make sure that you give the video a like on the way out, subscribe to the channel, share the video as well, get your comments in below on all the topics, Rashford, Tel, everything that's going on. Quenda, that's another one. Talk to me below, everybody. But for now, that is it. Weekend is here. I will be back later on if anything does break, obviously. I think it's going to be a busy few days, and we've got you covered here. But for now, that is our Friday evening show done. I will see you all first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock.